Fortunately, you've only got 5 minutes left.
Yeah. No, I've got 8 minutes. I'm counting. So risk management. So for most of you guys, Bitcoin is going to be the most dangerous thing you ever touch in your life. It's very, very volatile, and it as in its own right needs to like maintain its security through running of nodes and all of that. Now I will say one thing that's maybe impolite or confrontational. You'd have to be a fucking moron to have bought Bitcoin at 20 grand because it was only there for about a day. So if you just picked 3 weeks either side of it, you would have picked up cheap Bitcoin. But that's where DCA comes in, and that's what we're going to have a look at. So you can't trust anyone but yourself to verify anything, so I recommend running a node. You have to manage your private keys, which is hard to do. Money's involved, so people will be looking to scam you. And if somebody's come up to you and says, you know what, we found the next Bitcoin, that's bullshit. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. It's as simple as that. Anything useful in other cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin just merges it in to their cryptocurrency. So they tried SegWit on Litecoin, looked like it was okay, they tested it there and we pulled it in. There will be heaps of things that we will pull in if they're useful, but because money's involved, we just got to stress test them a lot. But there's nothing that any crypto, so for example, there's another improvement called Rootstock RSK, and that'll effectively replicate Ethereum on the Bitcoin blockchain. So you don't even need Ethereum anymore. Lightning.
What's Bitcoin SV?
Oh, there's a scam. Yeah, we won't get into Bitcoin SV.
Yeah.
So
The true one. The true
yeah.
Please don't.
All right. So here's some personal rules of thumb for securing Bitcoin. Now these are personal rules, my opinion. So they're not. Everybody has to see what their own risk tolerance is. But for a mobile wallet with a seed word backup, I'd be happy for you to put it on your phone because most people have a $1,500 phone anyway. And if you lose your phone, you can still recover your money if you've taken good care of your seed word backup. Anywhere between 3 grand and 25 grand, I recommend a hardware wallet, which they only go for about $100. Anything between 25 grand and 250 grand should be a 2 of 3 multi-signature. Now, these numbers look big, right? But if you invest in Bitcoin, that 5 grand can turn into 50 grand before you know it, and you have a security problem on your hands. You know, if you're going, 1% to 5% of portfolio, like people usually take the gold approach, you're probably already looking at $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000. So that, that can, in a flash, some people that bought in 2010. They're trying their best to secure 10, 15, 20, 30 million dollars. And you have risks to life and limb, people coming to kidnap you or kidnap your kids, or there's a lot of things. And now I'll talk about a bit more about multi-signature next and the level of security that's now available. So wallets, that's the main place where you store and transact and receive all your Bitcoin, and there's a couple of them. So you can store your Bitcoins on exchange if you're really brave, but I wouldn't do it because exchanges are easy to hack. Especially ones, unfortunately, that aren't Bitcoin only. Because Bitcoin is known, you can plug it into your website and sell it and all that kind of stuff, but all of the altcoins, you have to design systems specifically for the altcoins, and most exchanges that have been attacked have been through a side attack via an altcoin. So yeah, they're just trouble in general, altcoins. So you can have a mobile wallet on your phone. Geez, the true color has gone off, but this is supposed to be orange, yellow, and green. Multi-signature is the way to go if you're defending a good amount of coins. So general rules, not your keys, not your coins. So if you're not holding your own private keys, they're not your coins. So Maduro from Venezuela, the other year rang up the Bank of England and said, listen, I need my gold reserves back. And Bank of England was like, what gold? Yeah, seriously, what gold? And they said, look, we can't trust that you're not going to spend it ethically, so we're not giving you your gold back. Same thing with Bitcoin. Not your keys, not your coin. The exchange might get pissed off and say, you know what, we're not going to let you withdraw. So whenever you get a bit of money on exchange, take it off there. Mobile wallet. The pros are you do hold your own keys. You can back up your keys, and good wallets let you connect directly to your own node. that'll be sitting at home. Backups is like you're the single point of failure, and if your phone dies and you lose your backup, you've lost your keys. Some good mobile wallets are the Keymaster by Casa, and that's an all-in-one solution for node management, hardware wallets, multi-signature, everything. And when you visit keys.casa, if you're just banging IAWC, I've managed to hook you guys all up with a 10% discount on any membership you'd like. They have a free membership, a gold membership, a platinum, and a diamond. Where diamond, they even actually do inheritance planning for you. But that's a bit rich for my blood. That costs $5,000 a year for that service. But again, if you're securing 15, 20, $50 million worth of Bitcoin, because you only need, like, people were mining 50 Bitcoins every 10 minutes on their laptops in 2009. So like having 1,000 Bitcoins for the guys that have been, 7 to 8 years ago. So I've been here for 6 years, but when I got in, I was one of those morons that bought Bitcoin for $1,000 and had to see it go down to $200. But I DCA'd, and we'll talk about DCA after we go through wallets finally. Hardware wallets, same as the mobile, but your keys are never exposed to the internet. But again, you're a single point of failure. And the hardware can be hacked. If there's a good enough hacker that knows about secure elements, you might be able to get hacked if you lose physical access to your hardware wallet. So Cold Card is a great wallet, but that's for like power users. Trezor is another great and popular hardware wallet, so is Ledger. Trezor and Ledger are compatible with the Casa suite of products, and Cold Card will also be soon as well. So multi-sig, as I said, allows you to spread your keys over multiple hardware wallets and locations. So if one gets stolen, you'll be fine. It's not a big deal. No cons to multi-sig wallets. Nodes, as I said earlier, exist to verify all transactions, and to that end need to download all of Bitcoin's transaction history. So when you have a node, you have every single transaction ever recorded on the blockchain at your disposal to analyze and verify. Blockchain is about 260 gig right now, and it's 50 gig a year increases. BSV wants unlimited caps, so you'll need to add 45,000 terabytes a year to run a Bitcoin SV node. So you're looking at maybe $20 million a year to run a node. So nodes need to run 24/7. Cheap computers, they only use about 10 watt, so they'll cost you about $25 a year to run if you want to run a node. There's a lot of plug and play nodes now that you can order. So my nodes are good for sort of power users. I'm sure these slides will be available. I'll try and make them available. Casa, so with Casa, you get a year of gold membership. You get, they send you a free hardware wallet. They send you a free Faraday bag for your hardware wallet, so no one could spy by noise. And if an EMP hits your hardware wallet, it should still be okay. And it's just an absolutely great product. They have a mobile wallet, a browser extension to pay with Lightning. It's great. I'm a Casa Platinum member. They give you multi-signature for free on a silver package, but if you lose one of your keys, they'll charge you 0.1% of your balance to do a recovery. But if you're on gold or above, multiple cosigns are possible, but they'll only cosign for you if you do a video call with them. So if you do have a distress word and you have been kidnapped, you just say your distress code on the video call, and they'll make sure to shut everything down. There's the Nodl as well, which is also for extreme power users, but we'll tick through that. Run your own node. If you just give me 3 more minutes to talk about DCA. So the general rules: hold, never sell until it's time to spend. When you can start spending in Bitcoin, then start spending it. Otherwise, hold it. Finally, slow and steady wins the race. Now for the interactive bit. I want everyone to pull out their phones. So DCA is when you take the exact same amount of fiat currency and buy Bitcoin every week. So now that your phones are out, I want you to visit a website called DCABTC.com. So once that's loaded up, I'd like everyone to fill in the boxes that are prompted. DCA, so dollar cost average, DCA, BTC, Bitcoin. And I want you to start filling in the boxes. So just assume whether you put $1 in the assumed investment amount or $100 doesn't matter because it's based on percentages. I want you to just assume you've put in $100 a week, right? Since the first time you ever heard about Bitcoin. And just click on accumulate for 9 years. So that's what I want you to do. The first time you ever heard about Bitcoin, punch that date in roughly. So you don't need to go to a particular month or a day, just roughly when you first heard about it, and have a look at where you'd be had you started just $100 a week when you first heard about it. Does anyone want to throw some results at me? You don't have to if you're embarrassed. That's fine. So even though Bitcoin's trading at about 9 grand, over 55% down from its all-time high, if you were silly enough to buy it at its all-time high and never buy again. But if you did DCA from that day, you haven't lost a penny since the all-time high. In fact, you're up 30%. Now, every other altcoin, if you bought it at its all-time high and you DCA'd, you're still financially ruined. Whereas Bitcoin, you've made money. Why? Because it was only in that madness only happened for about 6 weeks. So you only would have purchased 6 times. And then when it was down in the gutter at 3 grand, you were picking it up non-stop. So since the 2017 ATH, Bitcoin's down 55%, but up 28.7. Since the 2013 ATH, all-time high, it's up 1,100%. Since the start of this year, January 1st, up 40%. The other comparisons to gold and USD. Since start of 2018, up 30. Since start of 2017, up 132, 16, 474, 15, 1,000. So as you can see, slow and steady wins the race. And just don't be an idiot and get caught up into FOMO just for the sole reason of coming to a Bitcoin conference and say, hey, Bitcoin's down. Like, it's not. You were just silly to buy Bitcoin after all the, you got sucked into FOMO, but all the mistakes can be corrected in time with DCA. And I'm telling you from experience, because I had to eat an 80% drawdown in 2013. And you just got to be patient. Don't get sucked into FOMO. Set yourself a budget every week, what you can afford to pay, and put it on autopilot. So good means of autopilot. Independent reserve, they're especially good for self-managed super funds and large purchases. So I have a self-managed super fund, 80% Bitcoin, 20% cash. I have more likelihood that my Bitcoin will be worth something than what my pension fund will be worth, in my opinion, because I don't have access to it for another 27 years. I guarantee you pension funds will be insolvent in 27 years. So if you go through this link, there's no incentives other than you can go through like the turbo KYC, so you can be up and running very quickly. And I think with Amber, do you guys give them a little something for that QR code?
Yeah, I think so. Is this the referral one?
Yeah.
One? I think you both get 5, right?
I don't know.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, either way, you can feel free to check out both. And does anybody? I see some glum faces in the room because it looks like many of you probably heard about Bitcoin a long time ago. So some additional readings. I'm going to just leave this to when you pick up the slides. We've got local podcasts from here. Stefan Rivera is one of the industry leaders. Ministry of Nodes does workshops in Sydney for security workshops, running nodes, setting up multi-signature, all that kind of stuff. If you're brave enough to roll your own.
You get paid to run a node?
If you have a Casanode, you get paid to run a node. So for you, they have a Sats app. You send a heartbeat to your node every day to just make sure it's online. And for doing that, they incentivize you with 10,000 Satoshi a week. So for someone like me, like 10,000 Satoshi is crazy. That's going to be $100 in 10 years. So just by checking in on my node every week, it's $100. That's $5 grand a year. In 15 years, I can pick up that $5 grand. So check out Ministry of Nodes if you ever want to go to a workshop. Casa was a plug and play node, so everyone's got that discount code.
Thank you.
And that's the end of the presentation. Thank you.
That was fantastic.